So what about this resurrection thing? What's that all about?
People rise from the dead. What's it about?
really a question?
Oh, is that they're just asking?
What up
What's
with the
with this
resurrection?
resurrection
What up?
thing?
Paul, you tell us, what up with the resurrection?
Well, that's actually a good question because in our culture, even Christians in our culture aren't inclined to think of the afterlife in terms of resurrection.
That's true.
I think since early on in Christian history, early church, we began to be influenced by the Platonic and other Greco-Roman philosophical traditions. And so that if you talk to most Christians today about what do you imagine heaven's going to be like, and you listen to what they say, it sounds far more like what Plato says than what the New Testament says. You know, you talk to people and quickly images of clouds and harps and fat little babies with wings and boredom and a lot of, it just doesn't seem like a kind of place you'd want to hang out for 1 billion years. That is not the way the New Testament
Annihilate
talks
me now.
about.
Please annihilate me. Can't stand these little cherubs.
I saw this one picture, this cartoon of a guy floating on a cloud in heaven, and all he's thinking is, I wish I'd brought a magazine. It's like, and that's
wonder what they're
how
doing in
it
hell.
is for so many Christians. It's this platonic, weird, ghostly world. The New Testament talks about resurrection. That means it isn't just disembodied spirits floating around up there, but rather for us to be unembodied, to be disembodied is unnatural. Now, you do go through this period. If you die on earth, your spirit and your soul, your spirit and your body are separated. But what's natural is for the spirit and body to come back together. That's called resurrection. That happens to all people, according to the New Testament, at the end of time. This was a very common, solidly rooted Jewish view in Jesus' day. Resurrection was what everyone hoped for the future, and that meant you had bodies. Now, they were, of course, bodies that couldn't get sick or die.
Not these bodies, the better body.
There were different kinds of bodies.
Glorified body.
But they were bodies, and that meant they lived in a real world, real stuff. And heaven is described very earthy. It's not this earth as it is now, but it's very much like this earth, rejuvenated.
New heaven and a new earth.
New heavens and new earth. So resurrection is absolutely crucial. I just read a poll not that many years ago. That it was a poll of Christians in America asking the question about how many were Christian. In that year, I think it was like 84% said they were born-again Christians. And then another question, do you believe in reincarnation? 40% of the people said yes, that poll. If you overlay those two polls, you got a good chunk of Christians buying into reincarnation, which is it's not compatible with the idea of resurrection. Two very different worldviews.